Well, good morning, happy gardeners. How you doing this morning? I'm bringing you this video. We are going to be harvesting some stuff out of the garden today. And like a lot of gardeners, they of course grow food, but sometimes you get too much at one time. So today's video is one, we're going to harvest some cauliflower that we got going, and maybe some broccoli. And I'm going to show you how to freeze cauliflower today and the process that I go through in order to put it in the freezer so that you can have it throughout the year and throughout the winter time. So anyway, that's the purpose of this video. It's not going to be too long of a video, hopefully, but we're going to harvest out of the garden today. We're going to bring you inside and I'm going to show you how I freeze our cauliflower. So let me bring you down. I want to show you a method that I do here to protect the sun from turning the cauliflower kind of like a yellowy color versus bright white. All right guys, as you can see, I have these leaves folded over, and I've pushed this bamboo rods through the leaves. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm covering the head of cauliflower so that the sun doesn't beat down on it and turn it yellow. We wanted to try to keep it a nice white crisp color. so let me undo this for you. And show you. Now that's one of the problems about gardening, is a lot of times if you got too much stuff growing at one time, you can't eat it fast enough. So this is a way to, what I'm going to show you today is a way to harvest it and protect it and keep it so that you have long-term vegetables in your freezer. Now look at the size of that head. That's two fists that has gone up. And all these leaves and stuff that we have here that I'm pulling off, we're going to put that in our compost pile. And I have another one here. It's my second one we're going to harvest today. And I'll probably keep maybe a half of one of these to actually eat fresh. The rest we're going to freeze because it's going to go bad before I can eat it all. And we've already been eating on cauliflower the last few days. Look at the size of that thing. Look at that two-handed cauliflower. Beautiful. Okay, let me go get my clippers. We're going to clip that off. We're just going to go down below and clip it off. Look at that, guys. Look how nice that cauliflower is. I'm going to take you inside and show you how to break this apart. And we're going to blanch it, and then we're going to freeze it. Look at that. That one thing takes up pretty much the whole colander. All right guys, here's the second one. I'm just going to go down below, cut that off. Look at that. That's two of them. Two of them barely fit into the colander. That's how big these are. Now we have another one here. We're probably just going to let that grow. It is harvestable right now, but we got these two. This one here, this one here, it's a little smaller than just the palm of my hand, so that thing will still keep growing. And then we have another one here. We're going to harvest that because it's pretty big. So we have this one we're going to let continue grow. That one's almost ready to harvest, but we'll probably harvest that next week. And then we have an additional one over here. We're going to let that go for next week's harvest too, but I think we're going to harvest this one as well. These three are just massive. This is the first time I've grown cauliflower, and I got to tell you, I'm ecstatic about how much cauliflower we're getting and how big the heads are. Now I want to show you something. We harvested that cauliflower there a few days ago, and we're going to let it grow. I'm doing just an experiment, just like I did with the cabbage. Like this is a cabbage we did, and it's getting more leaves around it and growing side shoots, and they say that you can get more heads of cabbage out of it, but we'll see. So we're going to do the same with that, which was cauliflower. I'm only going to do one. This one here I'm going to dig up because we're probably going to replant this in something else. And then anyway, let's harvest this one as well. That way we can get, I got three heads that we can put in the freezer. Probably going to save a half of one just to have for a dinner this week sometime. So to harvest it, just going to take out these sticks, put them aside, and just going to break off these leaves so you can see it, how massive this thing is. But yeah, just look how nice that is. And that's bigger than my hand, like twice as big as my hand. Beautiful cauliflower. I'm real pleased with it, the way it came out. Like I said, this is my first time harvesting, or actually not harvesting. Well, it is my first time harvesting, but it's also my first time growing. Let's put that in a basket, and we're going to leave the other two, actually the other three, grow. I'm going to harvest some cabbage leaves too, because I think tonight for dinner I'm going to make stuffed cabbage rolls. So we're going to do a little bit of harvesting that, and I do have some broccoli that I need to harvest. So this cabbage itself is ready to harvest, but I'm not going to harvest it today. I really just want to get a couple of leaves around it, and I want to get the ones that are kind of small and tender. I want to make some stuffed cabbage. All right, so I got those leaves. I'm going to pick a couple more. And I think this is too woody. We're going to take a break for a minute. Let me finish picking up what I got to pick up, and we're going to take it inside, and I'm going to show you how to prepare this cauliflower for the freezer. Okay, happy gardeners, we have made it inside the house, into the kitchen, and I'm going to show you what I do to keep this cauliflower in the freezer so that we have fresh cauliflower from the garden, you know, as long as it'll last. Probably get 2 to 3 meals out of each one of these heads by the time we chop them up, and I'll just put in enough in a bag that Peggy and I can have for dinner, so we don't have any waste. You have a lot of time invested in these things, so you don't want to put too much in there where it ends up being in the trash, because that's just kind of a waste. We have 3 nice heads of cauliflower, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just break off some of this here, and I'm going to put it in a sink. I have a sink full of water here that I'm going to, before I cut it up, I'm going to wash it off a little bit, because you can see there's some dirt there. So we'll just put it in there. I want to make sure we get as much dirt off as we can, and then I'm going to cut all the clusters off so that they're individual clusters, and that's what we're going to prepare to freeze and put in a baggie and put it for long-term storage in the freezer. So just clean it up the best you can, wash it off real good. This stuff here is going to go, that I'm putting in the bowl, that's going to go in my compost pile. But anyway, let me get this all cleaned up here, and I'll come back in just a minute and show you how we cut this up. Okay guys, I got this all cleaned up. We do have a couple little bad spots on here. We'll just cut them off, no big deal. And I don't know if you can see this. When we were out in the garden, remember I showed you how to wrap the leaves around so that the sun doesn't turn it color? Well, just right here in the center, I don't know if the camera will pick that up. It's kind of like a little pink where the sun has kind of bleached it out. It's still good to eat, there's nothing wrong with it, it just doesn't look as pretty as it does, and that's one of the reasons why I put the leaves around that head as it's growing, to keep the sunlight, because the leaves are pretty widespread and it allows those UV rays to come onto the plants. So anyway, let me give you another step of what I'm doing. So the process of what we're going to do is we're going to blanch these, and then I have a strainer pot that has holes in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these clusters up, and I'm going to put them in here, and as soon as that water's at a rolling boil, I'm going to put this into the pot, and we're going to cook it for exactly 3 minutes. And then over here in the sink area, I have some cold water. We're going to put some ice in there, and then once this comes out after 3 minutes, I'm going to pick this up and put it in the cold water to chill these down as fast as I can, because you want to stop the cooking process. So what blanching does is all the vegetables and stuff have enzymes on them that once you pick it off the plant, those enzymes will start breaking down. Basically, they're starting the rot of the fruit because it's no longer being fed from the plant. So by blanching that, you stop that enzyme from decaying the food that you're going to preserve so that you can eat later. Keeps the brightness of your vegetable. So if it's bright white, it'll keep it white. If it's green, like green beans, it'll keep it nice and green. It just looks more appetizing. All right, so let's get to chopping this up here while we're waiting for this pot to boil. And I'm just going to go in from the bottom, and I'm going to cut around the main trunk of that, and I'm going to break the clusters off like this. Look at that cluster. Is that awesome or what? This is the first time I've been growing cauliflower, and I'm so impressed of how nice it turned out. And these seeds I got from Hoff's Tools. And I'm going to what is that? See, this is why you clean it. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a baby lizard. There's a baby lizard that's in there. I hope it's a lizard. I think it is. That is keeping its... Yeah, there he is. He's trying to keep... Oh, there he goes. I just lost him. But he was trying to keep himself warm in there because it was outside. It was 40 degrees outside this morning. Let me rewash that. Well, that's funny. Never seen that before. All right, so anyway, let me get all these cut up like this here. I'm going to cut all 3 of these. Well, actually, I'm going to cut one of these in half because I'm going to save it in the refrigerator for dinner this week. The rest of it I'm going to cut and put in the freezer because I have 3 or 4 more out in the garden that are coming up. So I don't want to keep too much fresh that it goes spoiled. That's why I'm putting it in the freezer. All right, let me come back to you as soon as I get all this cut up and we'll go to the next step. Here's my half. You can see that's the half I'm going to put in the refrigerator for a dinner later on this week. And so I have broken it up to clusters this size over there, and I've put them all in here. And this pot is almost full. So you can see how much cauliflower we actually got out of the garden today. Look at there. You can see. Let me bring it up so you can see. That is full. Now that's probably 6 meals right there, if not maybe more. Okay guys, so this is almost to a boil now. So as soon as it starts a rolling boil, I will put this in there. We're going to set the timer for 3 minutes. And then once it's 3 minutes is up, we're going to take it out, put it in the ice bath, put it on the counter to dry out, and then we're going to put it on a cookie sheet on parchment paper. We're going to stick it in the freezer, and I'll take it up from there when we get to that point. Okay guys, it's a rolling boil. We're going to put this in, and we're going to put the lid over it. And we're going to cook that for 3 minutes. Okay guys, the timer has gone off. I'm just going to bring this over here so it's closer. And we're going to put that in the cool water. And I'm going to run the cold water over it. Alright, I'll bring you back as soon as this cools off. Give me about 5 minutes. Cauliflower has drained out, so now I'm just going to take these cloves and I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet on parchment paper. And the bigger ones, I try to keep them kind of on the small side. I vacuum pack all my vegetables. So because I do that, I like to freeze them first before I put them in the bag. That way any moisture or whatever, when you're vacuum packing them, they don't wick up to the top of the bag and then they won't seal properly. So I just feel this is kind of easier for me if I do this. So we're going to stick them in the freezer about 45 minutes to an hour at the most. And they should be frozen pretty well, hard enough to vacuum pack. And then we're going to vacuum pack these. And they should be good for several months in the freezer. See how many we get out of here. I'm excited about this. This is first time I've grown cauliflower, and I feel that they have done really well. If you've grown cauliflower and these are comparable to what you did, if these are average size or above average, yeah, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. All right, so these are going to go in my deep freeze about an hour, and we'll come back and then we're going to vacuum pack them. And I'm going to do the rest. I got about another 3/4 of a tray to a tray in here left to do. So once they're frozen, and then I'll come back in about an hour and we'll show you how to vacuum pack them and put them in the freezer for long-term storage. All right, guys, welcome back. It's been 2 hours and we have our frozen cauliflower. Bring it up so you can see it. So now all we're going to do is take these pieces. I already have my, I already sealed my bottom. This is for my food saver. I made some bags already. So basically now what you want to do is just divide it up to however many you're going to do for dinner. So I'm going to say like 5 pieces per person. So 10 pieces per bag should do a side dish for dinner. So that's what we're going to do. Take these, there's 5 of those. We'll do 5 more. And there you go. Just try to, I just try to arrange them so it's as flat as possible. Alright, I got a couple more made up here. And I have more that I have to put in the freezer. I just didn't have room in the freezer to put any more, so 4, 5, 5 more. 3, 4, 5. So it's 10 pieces. That bag's a little short, but I think it'll work. I'll get that one in the corner there. Okay. So I'm going to finish bagging these up. I'm going to bring the food saver over. And I'm going to show you how that works. And that's going to pretty much end this video. And if you guys have any questions about anything I've done today, from harvesting to preparing these, just leave a comment in the comment section. I'll sure be glad to get back with you guys on any questions you might have. Hang on, let me go get the food saver over here and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay guys, so this is a food saver model that I have. I think one of the legs are missing, that's why it's rattling. But if you have a garden and you freeze a lot of stuff, or even if not even if you don't have a garden, but if you go to Sam's or Costco's or any of those other BJ's, and you buy bulk meat, because that's what we do. We buy bulk meat and then we just separate it and we vacuum pack it and put it in the freezer, and it lasts for several months. And usually when you buy the bigger packages, family packages, you get it for $1, well, 50 cents to $1, maybe even a little more a pound off by buying it in bulk. So anyway, that's what we do. So let me take you back down here and I'm going to show you how we do this bag. Okay, the first thing you do is just lift up the cover. I've already sealed the bottom with a sealer because these are bags that come in here. It's just a roll. You can see the bottom is open, but what you do is just put it in this machine, you press it down, press seal, and it seals the bottom, and then you can roll it out as big a bag as you want, cut it off, and do what we're going to do right now. We're going to put it in far enough just to where it catches where it's supposed to be. You lock it down. Once the green button goes on, you're going to press vac and seal, and you're going to see this thing just take off. It turns off, the red light goes on. Now it's sealing the top. Once that red light goes off, we're done. All right, we'll open it back up. And there you go, hard as a rock. All the air is out of there. And this is one of the reasons why I freeze this before I do this, because if you've just rinsed it off and it's wet, the moisture as it's drawing the air out can wick up, and then it creates moisture on the seal on the top of this bag, and sometimes it's a pain to get it to seal. That's why I freeze it first, and as I'm drawing the air out, nothing's going to go from the cauliflower and trickle up to where I have to seal the bag. It's just my own little trick that I like to do. I'm going to show you one more and then we're going to end this video. Okay, so here's the bag. Our food saver. We're going to put it right into the groove where it's supposed to be. Close the lid, lock her down, and press vac and seal. And watch the magic. It's almost done, waiting for the red light to go off. And there it is. We open it up, lift the lid, and voila. Now this can store, put one this way and one this way, and you can stack them up in a corner of your freezer, and they're good for several months. And I'll just write on here with a permanent marker the date that I did this here, so we know in case we do any more in the future, we'll know which is the oldest ones. Okay guys, well, thanks for watching and coming along with us today on today's video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned a little something on if you have vegetables in your garden and you have an overabundance that you can't eat all at one time. This is one way to save them and put them in the freezer, and you can have them for several months fresh out of the garden, and you also know how it grew, and what you put on it. So and I do strictly, I don't want to say I'm organic, I'm going to say I'm natural. I don't use any pesticides or anything. Basically all I use is fertilizer or cow manure, so that's it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. If you would, please give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. It helps us tremendously put out this content on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, this would be a great time for you to subscribe. I have a lot more content coming out here, a lot of ideas in the future that I want to do come spring. And thanks for being a part of the First Time Gardening family. So until we see you next time, take care, God bless, be safe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.